Let's bring in now ranking member on the House Oversight Committee, California Democratic Congressman Robert Garcia, who ran yesterday's hearing. Congressman, you say you're now in a new phase of this investigation. What does that look like?
Look, we are now zeroing in on all of these locations where Jeffrey Epstein caused so much of his crime, abuse, the way that he manipulated, raped, what he did to these girls, these women, about 1,200 total, has to be explored and investigated, not just in New York at the Epstein Island, but also clearly in Palm Beach. Palm Beach is at the center of the story and this investigation, whether it was women that were being recruited from Mar-a-Lago, whether it was the fact that Alex Acosta, the U.S. attorney, essentially decided to not take the advice of the line prosecutors and instead gave Epstein the sweetheart deal. What we also learned yesterday was that after 2008, after he got the sweetheart deal, where there really was no consequence for Epstein, he continued his abuse for over a decade of girls and women and minors. And so we're beginning to put that all together. We're talking to and encouraging the conversations with the prosecutors that were on the ground, and we're not going to stop till we get justice for the survivors.
So on that note, given the new report on the sweetheart plea deal and the testimony you heard yesterday, will your committee subpoena anyone involved?
Our intention is to talk to all of the prosecutors that were involved and in understanding why they recommended certain actions against co-conspirators and Jeffrey Epstein, including federal charges that were quite serious, and then why then at the time, Alex Acosta, the U.S. attorney, who then becomes Trump's labor secretary, why he decided instead to essentially not accept any of those charges and go for this really light sentence for Epstein, because we then know that Epstein goes on and abuses hundreds of girls and women, and then begins this international sex trafficking ring after getting essentially a slap on the wrist. And so all of this points back to a cover-up. Why, with Epstein being protected by rich and powerful men, who were these other co-conspirators? Why had they never been charged by the Department of Justice or any court? We know that we have Ghislaine Maxwell in prison, of which Trump is possibly considering a pardon, and now Jeffrey Epstein is dead. There are numerous men that are walking around this country that have raped women and children, and they need to be held accountable.
Is there anyone that can be held criminally liable here? Are you planning to push for new criminal investigations and even charges based on what you're learning?
Absolutely. We know that there are co-conspirators named in the files. We're working on that investigation, but we're also asking, and we've been pleading the Department of Justice to actually go out and actually put some criminal convictions in place. Look, the DAs across this country, we know that other prosecutors across this country have come out and all supported criminal charges. The legal community has come out and said there needs to be more action. But right now, the Attorney General, the Deputy DA, who of course is now the acting Attorney General in the Department of Justice, has basically said that there's nothing else to do with the Epstein case, that we need to move on from it. That is just BS. There is so much more information here. We've got to do a better job of actually getting convictions, and we're going to push that, whether we're in the minority or in the majority, come later this year.
I have to ask you, because we heard that heartbreaking soundbite earlier from Rosa, how important, how critical was her testimony yesterday?
Look, the testimony from Rosa was heartbreaking. She had not publicly shared her story in that way. And the fact that she is someone that was trafficked, obviously from abroad, brought over, she immigrated here. She thought she would come and live a life of modeling and go out and pursue her art and her passions, but instead was trafficked to Jeffrey Epstein. And as we all know, this all happened after Jeffrey Epstein had that very first sweetheart deal and that house arrest program where essentially he was able to go out and commit additional crimes, traffic more women, rape women himself. It is horrific what happened to her. Her courage encourages us to keep going. And there are more women like Rosa that I believe will continue to come forward and share their stories.
Yeah, I know she talked about how Jeffrey Epstein allegedly held her visa hostage, essentially. Congressman, former Attorney General Pam Bondi slated to talk to your committee at the end of the month. Obviously, she's no longer AG. What do you want to hear from her?
Well, first and foremost, we need a commitment from Chairman Comer of Oversight that he's going to ensure that this interview is live, videotaped, and then released to the American public and under oath. And only he has the ability to ensure that actually happens. So we expect the former Attorney General to actually show up. We expect her to answer why only 50% of the files have been released to the public. There's over 2.5 million documents that have not been released. That is not acceptable. We need her to answer for why so much information, personal information from the survivors was actually put out on the internet for anyone to see. Their lives were put in danger. They were doxxed. The survivors spoke about this in the hearing in Palm Beach. And so why they did such a horrific job of protecting survivors, yet won't release half the files? This is a White House cover-up. Who is ordering this cover-up? Who ordered Ghislaine Maxwell to be moved to a less secure facility? No one has answered those questions, and you best believe that those will be asked to the former Attorney General when she comes to see us here in just a couple weeks.
How do you plan to compel the release of the rest of those files in accordance with the law?
The law is clear. There's not only an act that Congress passed, there's a subpoena that legally binds the DOJ to release all these files. So Todd Blanche right now is breaking the law. And so we're going to continue, like we did with Pam Bondi when we held her and started a process to hold her in contempt, which is why she's now compelled to testify. That process is going to continue. We're going to ensure that Todd Blanche come before our committee and testify, and he needs to do his job and release the rest of the files while, of course, protecting survivors' information.